Connecticut shootings. He wants a gun control policy proposed by January, and he's asking the vice president to take charge.
But he's also asking Americans to take a closer look at mental health. Susie Steimel shows us what changes may lie ahead.
The shootings in Connecticut sparked national discussion on gun control and the Second Amendment. Vermonters rushed to gun shops this week, and sales on semi-automatic weapons skyrocketed as President Obama called for a crackdown.
Each one of these Americans was a victim of the everyday gun violence that takes the lives of more than 10,000 Americans every year. Violence that we cannot accept as routine.
He also called on Americans to start another conversation.
We're going to need to work on making access to mental health care at least as easy as access to a...
The shooter, 20-year-old Adam Lanza, is probably the last person anyone in this country wants to feel sorry for. The medical director, Terry Rabinowitz of Fletcher Allen, says seeing him as someone who needed our help, someone who may have been sick, is the first step to preventing future massacres.
People are going to be more sensitive about mental health issues in this country.
No current evidence concretely proves Lanza was mentally ill, but so often these crimes are associated with so-called psychopaths, a word dripping with disdain.
A mental illness is no different from any other illness someone may have. It just affects thoughts and feelings rather than the heart or the lungs or some other organ system.
Rabinowitz says we need to normalize mental health issues to remove the stigma attached to them. For many people, just talking about mental health issues can be taboo.
Imagine if you had to tell somebody you hear voices or you see things that other people don't see, or every day when you wake up you feel like you'd rather be dead.
We have to address the very serious crisis of lack of mental health care for a whole lot of people who need it, and they don't need it next year, they need it today.
Senator Bernie Sanders says mental health care policy is likely more important today than any gun control policy ever could be.
But I don't think there's one simple solution. I think you have to look at this thing comprehensively, and Congress is going to have to step up to the plate and have the courage to do that.
Rabinowitz says it starts with parents teaching kids new social norms.
You wouldn't let a child get away with poking fun at someone who was in a wheelchair or who was blind. You shouldn't let a kid get away with poking fun at someone who's on a bus talking to him or herself.
As the president told the country today, the task at hand is not a simple one. But as the saying goes, nothing worth doing is ever easy. Susie Steimel, Channel 3 News, Burlington.
Fire departments are busy in Berry City at this hour battling a fire at the Granite Warehouse. Police say one of their officers